Gregg Popovich, let's talk about him because he's also made some lists. He has moved into 4th on the NBA wins list for head coach, passing Pat Riley, who was just here in town the other night. 1,211 wins in 23 seasons with the Spurs. So, I mean, what do you think is the legacy Pop will ultimately leave behind when he retires?
Greatest coach of all time.
You think that he
Hands
will
down. Hands down. Because Popovich, if you look
at the myth of Red Auerbach, he surpasses
everybody. Because what most coaches do, you're successful doing it in a certain way, you keep doing it a certain way. Phil Jackson has the most rings of all time, right? He's a great coach. He got the best out of not only great players like Michael and Scotty and
triangle or bust, baby.
But also role players, guys like we know Derek Fisher's name because of his success there. But it was always a triangle, and it didn't adjust, right? To the point where when the game changed, Phil Jackson didn't know how to change the system to adapt to it.
Yep.
This man right here, Gregg Popovich, is the only one who could say, he started, we're going to do a post-up, everything slow down and grind. Then when David Robinson left and Tim Duncan got older, we're going to go pick and roll heavy, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, and Tim Duncan is a screener. Then as those guys got older, we're going to go to more motion offense, and Kawhi Leonard is going to, and all the while, shifting and adapting. This is a man who said, I hate three-pointers, and yet that 2014 championship team, they shot a lot of threes, Danny Green, Patty Mills, et cetera. Not because that's his preference of how the game should be played, but that's his acceptance of the reality of the way the game is played. And so all of those things, that ability to shift styles, greatest coach of all time.
You were on that team in 2013.
Well, I mean, he's the greatest leader I think this game has ever seen. If you're talking about from the organization, from a whole pie standpoint, from the top down, management to the last player on the bench, he was just a great leader of men. And he broadened these guys' horizon beyond basketball, open their minds up to, viewing the world in a different way. And to me, what stands out is that when you have, the caliber player like a Tim Duncan and a David Robinson, and you see how he coaches these guys. He don't let these guys off the hook. You as a role player, as a guy, 15th man on a roster, see how they take how coach is coaching these guys and they sit back and take that.
He holds them accountable.
He holds these guys accountable, and I was blown away of how they handle being yelled at by Pop. A lot of guys can't take a coach yelling at them with the type of success.
We are seeing examples of it in the NBA this very season.
And the organization, I mean, you can't say enough about how these guys run the ship over there.
The end of this conversation, though, is how much longer we expect Pop to be there. We know that he's moving into becoming the Olympic coach. The feeling was that he would at least try to coach through this season, kind of steward this team out of the Kawhi Leonard era into its next era. Hasn't been a great season so far. Could miss the playoffs. How much longer do you expect him to be there?
I think he wants to set the table for whoever comes next, right? He doesn't want to leave, hey, here's this mess of a lottery team, good luck. You want to set the table, not only that it's going to be a successful team in the near future, but also has opportunity and room for growth beyond that. So that next coach, whoever it is going to be someone that Pop handpicks, right? So he wants to put them in the best situation, not only be successful immediately, but to be successful long term. So however long that takes.
Well, I will say this. You do not have to be a good person to be a great coach. Pop is one of the best people that I have met in this game, and that's not a small thing. So we appreciate him on so many different levels.